Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that Empress energy. You are someone who is feeding your life from your very essence. You know, the Empress is putting in the blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, has inherited something from your past self and is taking care of it. Okay, that your past, I was going to say the Emperor, right? Because the Emperor is kind of like your past self in this situation. It's sort of passed something forward to you. You've received it. And now you're incubating it. Now you're taking care of it. Now you're nursing it. You're nurturing it. You're feeding it. You're watering it. You're making it grow. Okay? And so that's kind of the mode that you're in right now, is the cultivator, the landscaper, the gardener here of your life. And you're cultivating this garden. Okay? And that's kind of your mission at the moment. The first card of the spread is the station. This is your subjective experience. Okay? And to me, it feels as if we've inherited something. Something was passed to you by your past self. And it's your job to incubate it, to nurse it, to make it grow into the best thing it could possibly become. Okay, to encourage this thing, whatever it is, a business, an attitude, a belief, a habit, it could be anything, a dollar bill, like giving it the room that it needs to grow. You are now creating the matrix of energy that's going to allow something to blossom amazing. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. And let's see what challenges you might be facing. There we have the Eight of Swords, a little bit of overthinking. We have an Ace of Swords, though, immediate correction to that, the 8. Yeah, we have a 10 of Swords, okay. 9 of Swords. God, what's with all the Swords cards here, Sagittarius? My goodness. But no worries, right? We have our 10 of Cups in the future position. You're passing something on to your future self as well. Here we have another sword. We have a Prince of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. Very good. I think the Ace of Wands is kind of nice because it's sort of like you're then becoming the sort of active charge again. Like the active, like the positive electrical charge. And you're passing something forward to your future self. Just as your past self has passed something to you, and now the past is the 10 of Swords. It makes perfect sense. Now the past doesn't exist anymore. The past is a lemon that you're, an orange, that you've squeezed all the juice out of. Your past self squeezed all the juice out of something and said, okay, here you go. It's like that. You ever watch like Top Chef or something, and they have those relay cooking games where like one person will have to like start chopping something, and then 30 seconds timer goes off, then the next person has to come in and continue chopping, and then also put the stuff on the pan and start making the sauce. 30 seconds are up. The next person comes in and they have to pick up where the past person left off. That's what this is like. That's how it feels to me, especially when we squeezed all the juice out of the fruit here. And now you're doing your part. You're making whatever you need to make out of that juice. And you're passing it on to your future self, who's going to have to then squeeze this 10 of Cups, this fullness, and continue this on down the line. This is really awesome. I love that. And, I'm not too concerned about the 9 of Swords. I feel like that is That's kind of like you hear you're in that game show, you hear the clock ticking, like your time's going to be up pretty soon, so it kind of creates a sense of urgency. There's always has to be that little element of danger or pressure, on that kind of a game show, right? That's why they have like the clocks and the timers and stuff to, if we had infinite time, well, of course, it would be easy to do anything. If I had all the time in the world, if I had 1,000,000 years, yeah, I could probably get into better shape, But it's kind of like, we don't have that kind of time. We don't have 1,000,000 years right now. At least not in this particular configuration of atoms and molecules and strings and quarks and all that kind of stuff. Our spiritual atoms. We have limited time in this particular incarnation. Yeah. And so I think the Nine of Swords is really it reminds you of the gravity of the situation, the gravitas, the importance of this for you. Okay? And it's kind of like your present self has a tremendous responsibility to your future self. And that's what we're doing here with that Nine of Swords. But let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments down below. As we look around the room, the only major arcana energy we have is the Empress. So this is Spirit's way of saying this is your role right now, to nurture and take care of something, not to worry about the past, not to worry about the future, to do your very best job that you can do right now to figure things out, to make the right kind of choices right now. Okay? Then you've got fire at the end. Fire at the end, because fire is then the appearance of that active principle. That electrical charge that you're then passing forward across the synapse, right, to the next brain cell. And so that fire at the end, it makes sense, because that's you then passing the torch on to your future self and saying, okay, did my part, and here's next for you. Well, maybe this is literal. Maybe this is really literally like a relay in your life with some other people. It could be. I don't think so, though. So fire, anyway. We've got water here, and water's in the future position too, right? So this is the idea that what you're passing forward to your future self is really this kind of fullness and everything that you possibly can. It's almost as if you keep delaying your gratification. You say, okay, my future self is going to reap the rewards of what I'm doing today. You're reaping the rewards of what your past self did. It's only fair that your future self gets to reap the rewards of what you're doing. So you have air, a lot of air. And we've got a little bit of earth, okay? So what's with all the air? Well, I think that you're overthinking things quite a bit. I think that you're trying to figure out how to make the best decisions. This is Jupiter in Gemini, 8 of Swords. It's too much complexity. You're looking at it with too much nuance. You're making it too complicated. It's a tangle of wires here. I think Spirit is telling you right now you need to simplify. Okay, break everything down into 2 choices. Do you do that over there or that over there? Choice A, choice B. Then you take each of those choices, A and B, you split those up, and you analyze those. If I did choice A, are you hurting anybody? What would your future self say? Is this immediate gratification or is this future gratification? Is this something that's gonna benefit me in the long run, or is this just something neutral or frivolous, or is this something that's going to be harmful? You do the same thing with choice B. You analyze that. It's okay to analyze, but to get so wrapped up in this smorgasbord of choices, we're going to be lost. We're going to end up just not doing anything. We're going to be looking at everything so much that we're not going to ever make the choice. We're not going to do anything. And so I feel that this is a need for simplification, and break everything down right now into its simplest component pieces. We need this Ace of Swords because this is clarity. This is the sword that is going to cut through this tangle of wires, paper cuts, to free you from that tangle. It's like you're tangled up in a bunch of Christmas lights. You know, you're not able to move. We have to cut through that. Okay, what better way to do that than with clarity, and with a divinely inspired consciousness and mind? You know, this is the analysis paralysis, and we want to analyze. We want to figure out what's going to be the best move, and maybe that's what this is what the Empress is trying to figure out now. What choices do you need to make to set your future self up with the right stuff? You're in that frantic, Top Chef game show. I heard Tom Colicchio is a fan of the show. I'm not sure if that's true. I hope he is. The Empress is concerned that you don't really know what to do. And so the timer's counting down, and you're kind of looking around on the table, and you're like, I don't know what to do with these lemons or this fruit or this sauce or the pan, and pretty soon your time's up, and you're like, oh gosh, I didn't do anything. So in some ways, it is simplify, back to basics, kind of just find clarity. Don't overthink it. What is the simplest thing that you can do right now? Okay. Spirit is showing me some aluminum foil over like a casserole dish or something. I don't know if you're just putting something away, or you just made something, or I don't know. Sometimes these details come through, and I'm not sure how it connects to the reading. It probably doesn't. Yeah. But anyway, the choices that are before you, make them as simple as possible. Break it down into two possibilities. Maybe it's binary. It's yes or no. Do I do this or do I not do this? If I did this, what would be the outcome? If I did not do that, what would that lead to? Okay. Because your biggest challenge right now is all this overthinking. So underneath the surface, you have your Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is kind of, it's like one of those letter openers, right? And I like this card because it shows that your conscious mind has penetrated beyond the confusion and chaos of our intellectual sphere, and the tip of that sword is in outer space, right? So that you can receive the cosmic rays, the divine download, that spiritual light is entering through your crown chakra like an antenna on top of your head. It's your spiritual antenna receiving the signal. That's cutting through the noise, telling you, you do this. This is the inspired choice. This one over here, that's not it. So you're getting like this clarity. You're getting getting this jolt of certainty. Yeah, that's going to show you beyond the shadow of a doubt what the right thing to do right now is, so that kind of how to stay in that flow. You're receiving the torch from your past self, and you're just going to keep going forward. You're going to keep doing the thing you're not going to stop to think. I don't mean that literally. I mean, we're always thinking, right? But think as simply as you can. Try to keep that flow, that electrical current going from the past through you now into the future. And cut through the noise, cut through the confusion, don't overthink it, keep it simple, all that stuff. But you're still going to need to sort of break down those choices. Now, maybe if this were a Two of Swords, it'd be a little easier to use that analogy, right? Because we break things down into a simple binary yes or no, this or that, A or B, 1 or 2, 0 or 1. And you sort of trace that train of thought. If it's a 0, what does it lead to? If it's a 1, what does it lead to? And that whatever's going to lead to your future self being set up in a good way. I mean, that's all we're really doing, right? Is we're just kind of setting things up for the next version of ourselves. Setting things up today for tomorrow. For tomorrow's person tomorrow's version of me, right? Oh, we don't even have to look at it in a diurnal way. I think it is probably the day-to-day with the Two of Pentacles here, but it really is just moment to moment. What can I do right now that's gonna set myself up 2 minutes from now? It's the mise en place of life, right? Everything in its place. Yeah, and so that's, it's kind of a, it's almost just a causal chain. Every moment is this new version of ourselves. But right now you're in that Empress version anyway. Let's stick to the point here. And you're receiving all the benefit of your past self. The Ten of Swords is a card of plans that have been ruined. It's the card of really something that's been squeezed until there's nothing left in it. And this is in the past. That's a good thing. This is where we want this to be. You don't want there to be any juice left in here, because then it's kind of saying, well, your past self didn't really do a good job of squeezing the juice, did they? So this was you really squeezing the juice and maximizing everything that your past situation, yesterday, last week, the year before, the last relationship, the last job, your last task, the last 10 minutes. You've maximized everything that you could. You've optimized the last 10 minutes. And you squeezed everything that you could out of that 10 minutes. Nothing was wasted, basically, right? It's been picked clean, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Every card has light and shadow. This is a card that's telling me right now that your past self fulfilled its mission. It got to the end of the road. From the Ace to the Ten of Swords, it completed that cycle, completed that circle. And you extracted everything that you could from that. You learned everything you were supposed to learn. You got all the joy out of it, all the love out of it that you could. You maximized and optimized that time you had. You squeezed all the juice. And now you're in this position where you've got to know what to do with all of that, whether we're talking physically, like financial stuff, or we're talking mental, emotional, or we're talking spiritual or creative juice. You've got to know what to do with your moment right now and how you're passing something on to your future self. You're giving your future self a really big, orange that they've got to then squeeze. Okay? And so this is a card of satisfaction. This is a card of fullness. And in a way, it's saying that everything that we do in the present moment is for tomorrow's gain. And there's a risk in that, of course, right? And that's part of our Nine of Swords. There's a risk. What if we fail? And then this doesn't happen, and then we're just stuck with that. Crud. Okay, so there's a risk in saving for tomorrow's gains. Because very much we would just like to have that now and say, screw it. I am my future self right now, and I'm going to enjoy the orange right now. I'm going to eat all the fruit, and that's it. I don't care if there's any fruit left in the fridge for me later. I'm going to eat all the ice cream there is right now. I don't care if my future self is hungry, We don't want to do that either. So there needs to be balance. We need to be able to enjoy the rewards, but pass the majority of the fruit on for our future self. Save the majority of it for tomorrow. Okay? And maybe the illustration 10 and 10, you see. We have 10 and 10, a very well juiced orange, and then a very ripe, full, juicy orange here. It's the extremes, This is completely empty, this is completely full. The future is full. And as you move forward, you're extracting more and more of that juice until it is empty. And it's a flow. Okay, it's a flow. But the sacrifices that you're making in the present are for tomorrow's gains, for your future self to reap those rewards. But you have to be careful with that. Okay, you can't always push off your happiness or your satisfaction or your fulfillment until tomorrow. We have to find ways to sort of sample it as we go. That's why I like cooking, because you get to eat while you cook. The majority of the food is for later, but you get to sample stuff along the way, and that's always real nice. The Nine of Swords is making me wonder, though, if you haven't been enjoying the fruits of your labor very much and you've just been grinding. away at life, right? Be careful of that, the grind core kind of mindset, because you're going to burn yourself out. Okay? If you're putting always your enjoyment until tomorrow, I mean, it's good. It's in general, I think that's a good way to go. You have to be able to sample some of the fruit to keep yourself going, keep yourself motivated. Okay? You will experience a plateau, a kind of a break in the progress. And that's probably part of the shadow side of the Empress as well, right? Every card has light and shadow. The shadow side of the Empress is that the Empress feeds something from its own energy, the blood, sweat, and tears, always feeding something from itself, giving something to somebody else. This is you giving to your future self. Everything is for my future self. The thing is then the Empress becomes depleted, and there's nothing left for the Empress. And the Empress is feeling diminished, okay? And then is unable, then our future self is saying, whoa, wait a minute, you gave me the big ripe orange, but I have no strength left to squeeze it. Or I'm too burned out to even squeeze this anymore. Okay, so we have to take care of ourselves in the present while we're also sort of honoring and considering our future self. Yeah, because the Nine of Swords, well, it's maybe a severity, right? It's a severity, but this is almost like a self-punishment. This is almost making me wonder if you don't feel like you deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor right now. That you think all the juice should be for tomorrow's enjoyment, not today. Problem is, it's always today. I used to go to this liquor store back when I was a heavy drinker. There was this one liquor store I'd go to. They had a sign. It's my favorite liquor store because of the sign. It says, free beer tomorrow. And the first time I walked in, I said, oh, wow, really cool. Really, tomorrow? And he said, yeah, come back tomorrow. And I did. Naive, younger self. And then I looked at the sign. I finally understood, oh, it's always tomorrow. It's never free beer today. It's always tomorrow. The sign doesn't change, I thought that was funny anyway, whatever. I stopped drinking, and now it's maybe not so funny. But that's the idea, that we are sort of punishing ourselves by saving something for tomorrow, and it's always tomorrow. Tomorrow's never today. So it becomes today, and then we say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll rest tomorrow. I'll enjoy something tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be different, and then today just becomes the same thing. We have to be careful with this. And I think part of that is because we feel like there's a clock ticking. And so we feel like I got to hurry up. I got to get this done. My future self is counting on me. Maybe not even your future self. Maybe it's your kids, your grandkids, the future generations, right? However you want to look at it. Okay. I think you're leaning into stress. That tension is creating growth, but you want to make sure that you sustain yourself too, so that your future self can have the grip strength, right, to squeeze the juice. Keep thinking of Pauly Shore. I heard he's a fan of the show too, believe it or not. The Ten of Cups is that satisfaction and that enjoyment and that dream come true life. So in a practical way, it's kind of like you're not allowing yourself to enjoy anything now. You're saving all your money. You're putting in all the hours, all the hard work, grinding away at life. Because someday in the future, you're going to retire, you're going to relax, you're going to kick your feet up, you're going to feel good, you're going to take a hot bath and eat some ice cream. At the same time, just don't drop the ice cream in the bathtub. But then tomorrow never comes. We have to understand that this is the process that we're in, and we have to find a way to just kind of snack as we go. Yeah. And I think the Eight of Swords is a little bit of that kind of confusion. Maybe you feel kind of torn because you feel tired, but you also have an obligation to the future. And so what do? Okay. Well, is your future self going to be thankful if you took a little break and had a meal and relaxed and kicked your feet up a little bit? Probably, because then it's going to benefit from she's going to wake up and feel like, oh, wow, I feel good today. I feel like yesterday I rested well. I feel like I slept good, or slept well. So anyway, that's that. Let's talk about the path of the serpent, though, okay? As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The Prince of Swords, general energy, a fixed mind state. This is that you've promised your future. It's like you have this Ace of Swords and you're not letting go, thinking, I got a mission. I'm divinely inspired. I know what I'm supposed to do, and it doesn't matter what it costs me because I'm doing it for my future self or your future family, self, the generations, whatever. However you want to look at it. Doing it for the future. And this is really, this is that kind of grind mindset where it's very difficult to get you to change your mind. It's difficult to get you to see things in a different way. Sometimes this is a mental stubbornness. Yeah. But I feel that this is you realizing that, okay, I need to make good choices every day. And that doesn't always mean torturing yourself. 9 of Swords, right? It almost feels like torture. Torturing yourself, going to the extreme, is not the way to make your future self happy. We need a little bit more gentleness. Anyway, we have to be able to, I think, look at things or reflect upon what we're doing a little bit differently. The 2 of Pentacles is the day-by-day sort of effort that you're putting in. It's the changes that you're making every day. It's what you're doing today and how it's going to affect the future. Okay? It's a card of change. It's a card of change in the environment, change in your relationships, and changing the way you relate to the environment. And this is magic. This is what you're trying to do. You're trying to change your life. Okay, you're trying to make your life better. And so this is the binary, looking at every choice. It's black or white. Obviously life is a gray area. Life is very nuanced. Nothing is black or white. We don't want to be in this black and white thinking kind of problem. But humor me a little bit. Looking at life in this binary way simplifies things. It's either going to be good or not good. I either say yes or I say no. I either want to do that over there or you're going to do that over there. Keep it simple. And with each choice, we have to understand what our standard is, what our truth is. Okay? So nothing is intrinsically good or bad. It's all a gray. It's not black or white. It's all a gray area. It depends on your perspective. You're going to see things a little bit more black or a little bit more white than somebody else. It's all gray. You can say, well, that's gray, right? You might look at a picture and you say, that's gray. And someone else will say, well, that's a little bit black. Not quite. And it's not. It's a little bit more black than it is white, right? I'll tell you, I wear these purple shirts, red shirts. I don't know if it's red or purple. My wife will say, oh, here, I washed your purple shirt. And I'll say, what do you mean? That's my red shirt. And she'll say, that's purple. I'll say, no, that's red. And that's kind of the same thing. To me, I see it as red. She sees it as purple. Maybe it might actually be this very shirt. And so she thinks, you're colorblind or something, like something's wrong with your eyesight. But we perceive things in different ways. So this is all relative. You have to know what your inner truth is, because that's going to tell you whether something seems like a good idea or a not good idea to you, to your future self, really, right? So you can say, what if I do option A? Is my future self going to be happy? Is it going to be healthy? Am I hurting anybody? Am I hurting myself now? Or am I hurting anybody else? Or am I hurting my future self? Well, that's the ticket here. Is it hurting you? We say, well, I don't enjoy it. Maybe it's not exactly hurting you, right? Because you're sacrificing something, you're putting in the hard work for your future self. So you ask that question, is it hurting you? Is it harming you? Right? Not is it making you uncomfortable, not is it making you sore or making you tired, but is it harming you? If the answer is no, okay. Is it harming your future self? No. Is it helping your future self? Yeah. Is it helping other people? Maybe. Seems like that's a pretty good option. But then if you look at a choice and you think, is it harming me? Well, maybe it is. Maybe you're really diminishing your energy too severely for the sake of it's helping the future. Yeah. Is it making the future happy? Yeah. Is it hurting you now? Oh, yeah. We might need to rethink it. But it's all relative. Okay? So there's no intrinsic yes or no choice. It's not literally a binary choice, but you're making it binary. You're making it black and white so you can simplify your choices and your stream of consciousness, and you can make your decisions in the best way possible. Okay? For the benefit of your future self. If you're harming yourself now for your future self's behalf, your future self's not going to be happy. So this is the other side of that coin. This is the Queen of Pentacles. What does the Queen of Pentacles do? She looks at the past. This is your future self turning around and looking at you. Is your future self going to be happy and healthy and thankful for what you've done? This is your other teammate in that relay race. You know, when they're going to catch your fire. They're going to receive what you're giving them. Are they going to be happy with what you're giving them? Or are they going to say, well, thank you for all of this juice, but look what you did to yourself. You know? Look what you did to us, because you're that person, right? And so I can't enjoy. You gave me all this juice, but you gave me a diminished physical form that can't enjoy, you know, oranges or something, right? I knew a guy, unfortunately he's passed now, but he used to say that he was allergic to anything orange. And it was kind of silly, but to him he was. Anytime he'd eat something orange or he would get next to something orange, he'd start itching really bad. And it was oranges, carrots, or, you know, I don't know. Anyway, the Queen of Pentacles is looking at the past and seeing all the long and winding roads, all the twists and turns and ups and downs that you went through, that your past self went through to be where we are. So this is your future self, and I think that the reason why it's in the fear, worry, concern, or the anxiety is that you feel that there is a tremendous pressure on you right now to please your future self. And yeah, there is. But you have to keep in mind that this is also you. That pretty soon this version of you is going to be your present self. Yeah. So you have concern for this person. You have to have concern for the person that you are now. Yeah. And so it may be that you've been pushing yourself too much, that you haven't taken any time to heal or rest. Are you being too harsh with yourself, never feeling like you've squeezed it enough, you know, for a moment at least to take a break? And that could be the Nine of Swords up here, being very harsh with yourself, never feeling, you know, good enough. And so this is the only, you know, it seems like this is the person that really matters to you, or the only person that matters is, what's my future self going to think? Your future self is going to want you to take care of the vessel you're in, to take care of your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, because it's inheriting that from you, right? Just like you're inheriting all the juice that your past self squeezed and whatever else, you know, your past self did that you're inheriting, your future self is going to inherit what you're doing now. And that's the Ace of Wands at the end here. This is that forward-moving energy. This is the vitality. This is the will that's moving forward through time and space, okay? Are you giving your future self this vibrant energy and creativity and this power? Are you giving them a torch that's been burned, whittled down to nothing, a candle that's been burnt at both ends, and they're just like, what am I going to do with this? You're not leaving me much to work with here, you know? And whether this is time, effort, energy, and or money. we have to consider these things. So this is awareness, really. Yeah. Let's look at our mystery card. I would love to see some more juice. I would love to see a 9 of cups here. I think a 9 of pentacles would be okay too. Yeah. I think a 9. I think a 9. I think is going to really be the way to go, because it's a function, it's a verb, it's an odd number, right? So it represents kind of the motion, the movement through time and space. Yeah, in a way that's healthy, in a way that is abundant, both now and in the future, where we can answer yes to the question: is it good for my future self? Yeah. Is it good for me now? Yeah. Well, that's a win-win, right? That's the perfect win. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. The Magician, of course. The Magician is the one that is acting as the clear channel, the clear conduit of the divine energy, passing things from past to future, from above to below, inside to outside, from fire to earth. Okay? Magician, the one that is manifesting reality. It's happening through you. Your future, your world is happening through you. You're creating it. You are the magic maker. You have to protect the vessel. It's one thing to have this spike of electrical current flowing through you. What if it frays the wires, blows the circuit? You've got to protect the vessel so it can be that conduit for that divine energy into the future, as far as the eye can see. So you might need a tune-up. You might need this, some periodic self-care or a spiritual recalibration in order to make sure that your vessel, the wire, the conductor of that electricity is sound. Your heart and your mind. It seems like your mind is a little frazzled, to maybe put it mildly, right? You've got to work on that a little bit. Stress getting to you. Focus on your mental health so that you can continue to be a clear channel of this divine energy, and you can continue passing that fire energy forward, that divine light, that spiritual energy. Makes sense. Focus on the mental health, the physical health too. Because I think it's all tied in together anyway, The 9s, 3, 3, 3, shows the 3 planes of being: physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative. And they're interconnected. What you do to your body affects your heart and your mind, affects your spiritual experience and your creativity. And what you do on those other planes affects your physical body too. Everything's connected. And that's kind of the Magician, that you've been overloading the circuit a little bit. Yeah. You got to take care of the vessel to make sure that it can be the very strong and healthy conductor of that electricity. Yeah. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner up here, and there's a link in the video description. New readings for Sagittarius, Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.